Do you know how many thoughts does the average human being have in a day? Any guesses? Any guesses? It is around 70,000. Are you aware of what you're thinking the entire day? Or are you living life in autopilot mode? How many of your thoughts are positive and push you forward? And how many of your thoughts are negative and hold you back? Today, I am going to share my journey from living a life in autopilot mode to being the pilot of my life by taking of my thoughts and feelings. One day, I was scrolling through my Toastmasters pathways page to select a project to work on. I then stumbled upon this particular project, which told me to start being aware of my thoughts and feelings. I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. And so I did. Within a few days into the journey, I realized that I have a lot of negative thoughts and a lot of self-limiting beliefs, such as victim mentality, thinking that I cannot do big things, fear, aversion to pain, and fear of judgment. Luckily, during this time, I was exposed to Mr. Jim Rohn and David Goggins through their speeches on YouTube. Listening to their speeches helped me improve my life and change my negative beliefs into positive beliefs. Pain, we all have experienced it, we don't like it, and we like to avoid it as much as we can. What if I said that pain is a gateway to peace? And the more pain you go through, the more peaceful you will become. You might be thinking that I am crazy. Even I thought the same thing when I heard David Goggins say it in the Joe Rogan podcast. I was like, this guy must have lost it. How can pain bring us peace? I had all these rebutting thoughts in my head. But I continued watching the entire podcast from a different perspective. I pondered and analyzed on Goggins' words for 3-4 weeks. I then thought of trying it for real. I thought of trying his philosophy of pain brings peace for real. So I applied his philosophy in my exercises. During my runs, whenever I used to feel pain or whenever I used to feel tired, I used to stop and call it a day. Now I decided to run for 45 minutes continuously. Even though I have pain or tiredness, I wouldn't stop. The first day was almost next to impossible, but I somehow completed it. And I kept on repeating this day by day. At night, whenever I used to lay on the bed with my body pain, it actually felt good. With a small, with a small movement in my body, a gush of pain would run through my spine. But I had this smile and this weird satisfaction. This was the reason, this was the proof that the pain that I had, it was due to my hard work and because I persisted for so long. I had earned this pain and this gave me peace. And this is when I realized that that day, what Goggins was saying was true and his words are still etched in my brain until now. Responsibility. This word is the most important word in my dictionary. This was not the case few months back. One day, I was listening to this speech by Jim Rohn, and it literally changed the way I view myself. At age 25, Jim Rohn was a college dropout. He was broke. He had no money. And he had this long list of reasons for why he was not doing well. He blamed the government. He blamed the taxes. Look what you have left after they have taken everything from you. And they expect you to do well. He blamed the prices. You go to the supermarket with $20 and you come out with just half a bag. He blamed the weather. He blamed the traffic. He blamed the car. He blamed the manufacturer. He blamed his company. He blamed his company policy. He blamed the training program. He blamed his negative relatives. They were always pulling him down. He blamed the economy. He blamed the community. One day, a millionaire named Earl Schroff, with a curious look on his face, asked Jim, how come you haven't been doing so well up until now. Jim thought he wouldn't look too bad if he went through his list. So he took out his list and went through it one by one. Earl Stroff patiently listened to Jim Rohn. After Jim finished, Earl Stroff looked at his list very carefully and said, Jim, there is one big problem with your list. What is it? You are not on it. After a few months, Jim went to work for Earl Stroff and he tore up that script, got himself a fresh piece of paper and wrote one word, me. After listening to this speech, all the light bulbs in my head started, started to turn on. I realized that I realized that in my life, the biggest problem that I had was that I did not take responsibility. I did not take responsibility for my health. I did not take responsibility for my expenses, for my education, for my career, and for my emotions. I used to rely a lot on other people rather than doing things myself. After listening to the speech, I learned not to do that. I stopped relying on people and I stopped expecting things from people. I realized that no one is coming to save me. If I don't think about my life, no one else will. From that day onwards, I became serious in my life with respect to my dreams and my goals. Now, I am in a much more better state with regards to my mental health than I was 6 months ago. All this was possible because I started being aware of my thoughts and my feelings, and I started to change my negative and self-limiting beliefs with positive beliefs. Now, I'm a much more focused, much more happy, and a much more peaceful person. And you can be too. If you just start the practice of being aware of your thoughts and feelings and changing your negative thoughts into positive ones. Thank you.